Yo, what's up guys? So today I'm just gonna give you guys a quick guide on how you can fix your ULX if you're having any issues with click grinding. This has drastically changed my experience with the mouse. It made it much more enjoyable for me to use, but I again just want to reiterate how frustrating it is for me to have to mod a mouse at this price point for it to be usable for me. And I just want to do a disclaimer first. This could very well void your warranty, and I'm not responsible for any damage that you do to your unit. You're going to need a couple of things to perform this mod. The first is a screwdriver. I just have an electronic one here, and you will need a PH00 bit, a T2 hex bit, a paintbrush with a very thin tip. I have these, but you could also use a Q-tip, some switch lube. I'm using 205 grade 0, but any synthetic lube could work. So 3203, 3204. I have this super lube that could probably work as well. The key is that less is more. You really don't need to put a lot on it. And you could also use some metal tape or band-aids if you don't have any lube, but for this I'm just going to be using lube because that's what worked for me. And I would also recommend a replacement of mouse feet. So to get started, the first thing that you'll want to do is to remove the two bottom feet. That's where the screws are that connect the bottom shell to the top shell. You can use a hair dryer to remove the mouse feet, and that will loosen the adhesive, but I recommend just tossing them and putting new skates on. If you do opt to do that, make sure that you cover up the sensor because it's very sensitive to heat, and you can also risk damaging other internals. So let's get the top shell off. So now that we got the screws out, we're gonna pop the top shell off, and it can be a little bit it'll fight you a little bit to come off, but you want to lift up the back part of the shell first and kind of pull toward, like, away from the shell while pulling up as well. So that's the first step. Next, we're going to take out this screw here. This is what holds the clicks in place to the back of the shell. Okay, now that we got that out, we're gonna pop this off, and here's where the clicks are attached. So now we're gonna switch bits here to our T2. You'll notice that you can probably see a bit of lube has been applied already. I've already done this mod, so I'm not gonna be doing it again. But it's this slider right here. That's where you want to apply the lube. You're also going to want to apply it on the inside of these channels here on the clicks. Those contact points are going to be where that grindy feeling is going to be coming from. So you would take your paintbrush and you would just take a very, very, very thin layer and just apply it on the insides of that channel there, and also on that slider part right at the front of the mouse here. It is in between here. And I really want to reiterate again that you don't need a lot of lube. Just a little bit will get the job done. If you do too much, you'll probably get a very gross and sticky feel and not a very tactile feel, which is what you want to avoid. So just a thin layer, get it on your paintbrush or your Q-tip, and then you actually would, if you can probably actually just get a paper towel and do a couple strokes on that first before you apply it, and that will still be enough to get the job done. So then we'll go ahead and we'll reassemble. It'll also help if you tighten the screws here quite a bit, because it helps reduce some of that wobble that you'll feel. we'll take the back part of the top shell. Should just slide into place like so. Now we're gonna switch back to our Phillips bit. And again, you want to have it reasonably tight here, and it'll help with reducing some of that wobble that you feel. So this is the tricky part here, because putting it back together, there's these latches at the front of the shell that have to slide back into place with the top shell. So you have to like kind of get it set up perfectly here. And then you want to put a bit of pressure forward, and it's probably going to fight you a bit. So, and it might take you a couple tries as well. So you just got to be careful. Okay, so I got it there. And push the top shell back in. And before you screw everything back in, you want to make sure that there's no gaps in the housing of the top of the shell, mainly at the front part, because of the mouse there's not going to be any at the back really. But if you have anything at any gaps at the front, that means you didn't attach the shell properly, so you're gonna have to do it again. Probably take a couple tries, but just be careful with it. Don't put too much force onto it and you should be fine. Just like that, we have removed that creaky feeling that you get when you shift the buttons. There's still a bit of wobble, but that kind of grindy feeling is gone, which makes the mouse feel 100 times better in my opinion. If this helped you out, drop a like, drop a sub. I appreciate the support. That's gonna do it for me today, guys, so I'll see you later. Peace.